So we've had demons, rats, and zombies. What are we going to get this time? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with episode 3 of Cabinet of Curiosities, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. So, yeah. The first episode, I think, was better than episode 2. I really liked the entire, not really twist, but the way it built up to the reveal of the demon and everything. And how it progressively got more and more interesting and intense as more was revealed about this storage locker and all. Episode 2 was good. I liked the giant rat queen. That was very interesting. The zombie felt unnecessary, like you just didn't really need that in there. It just felt like a random addition that just... You didn't need to do both the rat queen and the zombie. Both were not needed. But both of those first 2 episodes kind of touched on different forms of human greed. With our main character from the first episode, being this selfish jackass who's also, a horrible bigot. And the second one being just kind of more of an opportunist, but still, greedy and doing everything for riches to pay off not only his own debts, but, succeed in life. They were 2 very different characters with a similar motive, but different ways of going about it. And I'm wondering if this entire series is going to be like that, or if it's going to change things up and do something different. Because I almost feel like it would be a kind of a letdown if every episode were about human greed. I mean, I get it would definitely be a theme for the series, but I kind of feel like there's so much more you could do. And it's like, even with that, yeah, there would be a lot of variety with the types of threats and whatnot that they're facing down, but still. I want to see variety in the theming and messages as well. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know what to expect with this one going in. I don't know what the title is offhand. But this one is a longer one again. Last episode was a bit shorter than the first, and now this one's 59 minutes long. Though that probably includes the credits, so maybe about 55 minutes or so. So it's pretty much an hour, and that's exciting. Usually I'm not always for longer series like this. That's an hour instead of 20 minutes or so. But with a show like this, I feel like it gives more chance to build up to things. Last episode built up a little bit, but it didn't have as much time to build up a lot because it was 35 minutes long last episode. So it didn't have his chance to build up as much as episode 1 did, which I think was about 50 minutes long or something like that. So I'm excited to see this one, and how much it builds up to and what we get for it. I'm also interested to see what other stars we get from this, because I can't think of his name right now, but the first episode had this actor who's been in a bunch of things. He was actually in Captain America Brave New World that just released. I saw that myself in theaters. He was great in that. But he's been in a bunch of things. He was in that Netflix series. I think it's a Netflix series at least. Ballad of Buster Scaggs or whatever it's called. I think I talked about this back when we reacted to the first episode, and now I can't remember the name for 100%. It's something like that. I never saw it, but yeah, he's one of those actors who's just kind of in various things, and it's oh, I know him, but I just never remember his name. He's one of those actors. I don't think I recognized anyone from last time. I think I had to look it up, and even then, it's The one guy I really thought I oh no 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 there was one I did recognize. I was gonna say though the one guy I thought I recognized because I thought it was Keegan Michael Key was not actually him, but there is one I recognized. The actor who played Death in Supernatural and Nine Fingers, was that his name in Wrong Turn? The first one specifically. Among various other things, he was in the Krampus movie as well. Um, but yeah, it's like he's a pretty fun actor to see pop up every now and again. But like I didn't recognize like the main guy from that one. But I'm definitely interested to see who else Guillermo gets. You know what would be really cool is if he got Ron Perlman for this because they worked together on the Hellboy movie, the first two Hellboy movies. It's like it would be really cool if Ron Perlman was able to get into an episode of this. Because you know he would have done it too. He loved working with Guillermo. He's even said he would be willing to come back as Hellboy only if Guillermo del Toro directed it. So it's like it would be really cool if he ended up being in this series. This, by the way, came out like a couple years ago. I don't know if they're planning on making a second season or anything. If they are, I haven't heard anything about it, but I would love to see more because there's only like I think 8 episodes of this. So I would love if a second season does eventually come because this is fantastic so far. I mean, again, there's only been 2 episodes, but I trust that they're probably all going to be high quality. I tend to trust in Guillermo del Toro. Um, so let's get into this episode, see what we have in store this time, and like hopefully this really ends up being good. I mean, we'll see. Let's get into it. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This was really good. Like, that kind of like, I like how this was paced. The first half kind of being like the backstory, setting everything up, explaining what happened, and how everything came to be. And the second half being the autopsy and, like, finding out the truth, finding out how everything went down, from the alien's perspective and everything, as well as seeing the doctor like basically give a big middle finger to the alien and basically tell you like fuck off, you're not taking over any more bodies, I'm killing you. Apparently though, according to the alien, like their species, their parasitic species has taken over multiple hosts and kind of influenced things in the past. They use the hosts to feed and for, senses and whatnot. So they've probably been involved in a lot of different events throughout history, according to this. You know what this reminds me of? Have you ever seen the anime Parasite the Maxim? This is very similar to that. For those who don't know, Parasite the Maxim is a manga and anime about a high school kid who gets infected in his hand by a parasitic alien that was originally trying to go to his head and take over his body completely, but because it takes over its hand, they kind of share the body, and they have to work together to take on other parasite aliens who have taken over host bodies, and just navigate the world together as they change and grow through each other. It's a really interesting series. That tackles kind of like the ideas of what humanity is and stuff like that. It's really interesting, but just the concept of like this parasitic alien taking over host bodies and whatnot is really it's very much the same as this, just obviously different execution. So it definitely makes me think back to that. Um, it's really interesting too that the doctor that he was not like he was a little afraid when he first saw like the dude's body like moving and everything, but he wasn't as afraid as you would think he would be. And again, it kind of goes back to the fact that he had this cancer and was already had already made peace with death, so he wasn't really afraid of dying at this point. He already knew he was going to anyway. He was more freaked out by, the dead body moving at that moment. And when he realized it's like, okay, I'm going to die no matter what at this point, anyways, he chose to utilize the fact that this alien clearly was, blind and deaf when outside of its host. He utilized that fact to wait till it was outside of Alan's body, and then he deafened himself, blinded himself, slit his throat, and wrote a message for his friend on his chest. All while the alien wouldn't notice and couldn't notice. He basically sabotaged the alien's entire plan and its ability to survive because it needed to feed off of him and everything, including feeding off of his senses and whatnot to survive. The fact specifically that he slit his throat and was bleeding out and already in the process of dying is what allowed the alien to die as well, because the alien needs the host to be alive. That's why Alan was still alive within him, as he mentioned. It's like his consciousness was still there. I compared it to like Get Out with the sunken place with the mom's hypnosis and everything. It's obviously a bit different, but that's just the first thing that came to mind. Um, and it's just a really interesting way to do an alien concept, because you see a lot of different alien concepts in terms of shows, movies, etc. And the idea of an alien taking a host is not new. Like when I had brought up first in the episode the idea of the alien wearing like the person as a skin suit, before that was even revealed, I figured that out. Um, my reasoning for thinking that actually goes back to just Men in Black with Vincent D'Onofrio playing Edgar, and the alien bug like taking over his body after killing him. It's just an iconic performance, and with as many times as I've seen that movie, it definitely came to mind right away. So I really like the kind of comparisons I could make to this. F. Murray Abraham obviously did a fantastic job. He's a great actor in pretty much everything I've seen him in. He was also in Moon Knight, fun enough. He did a great job here. All the other actors did great. The actor, I want to check this real quick. I'm gonna mute it, obviously, so you guys don't hear it, so there's no copyright issues. I want to see the actor who played Alan. Seeing like painters and special effects stuff here on the credits. There's an intimacy coordinator for this? For what? Like, I know what intimacy coordinators are for generally, but for this? There wasn't really intimacy stuff. This is also based off a short story, which is really interesting. Okay, I think I missed it here. Hold on. Assistant directors. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Jackson Miller, landlady. Okay, it gives a list of cast here, but it's like not the. It seems like it's the side characters mostly, the deputies and whatnot. Um, young boy, Abel Doherty, the landlady and everything. But it's not like giving the main cast, I guess, probably because they were mentioned at the beginning. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh, also, by the way, this was written the teleplay was written by David S. Goyer, who's known for like superhero stuff. He did like Man of Steel, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Blade trilogy, and stuff in terms of like writing and all. But he also like directed Blade Trinity, and various a few other films as well. So that's really interesting in and of itself. Um, Let me see here. Was it Glenn Turman? No, no, he was the chief. Luke Roberts, maybe then. Yeah, I think it was Luke Roberts. Apparently, he was Sir Arthur Dane in the sixth season of Game of Thrones. I mean, I never got that far, but for those who know Game of Thrones, maybe you know who that is. Oh, he was a captain of the guard in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I've definitely seen that. He was Thomas Wayne in The Batman, the 2022 Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Okay. I don't think he had a big role in that. I think it was just through a flashback, but still. Um, Apparently he had a lead role in Black Sails. Oh, and he has a voice role in capture as James Sunderland in the Silent Hill 2 remake. And apparently he's a voice role in Outcast: A New Beginning. What is that? I don't know. It looks like some game I've never heard of. But yeah, he's done a few roles that I've heard of, a few roles that I haven't. He doesn't seem like a huge name, um, but has definitely done stuff. He was great in this though. Like he was really good in this. Yeah, he's even listed here. Eddie Sykes slash the Traveler. Like his vocal performance more than anything else, more than just the physical, though the physical performance was great too, but his vocal performance, like delivering the lines as the traveler, the alien, were so good. The way he performed that was amazing. Like sometimes just a vocal performance, like really sells a character more than a physical performance, even in live action. Um, he was like delivering those lines excellently. I wanted to give him some credit there, so that's why I was looking him up, trying to find who he was. He did a great job. Like I said, though, I love the pacing of this. I like the style. I also like the tension, how it built up the tension through like this kind of mystery element. You're trying to figure it out as it goes along as well, and as you get more information, you start to figure things out a little bit more at a time. It's really interesting. And then when like the shoe drops at the end, when Eddie's body reanimates, it's like it just like shit hits the wall. It kind of works in the same way that the first episode worked, by building it up, giving you little bits of information at a time, and then shit hitting the wall at the very end. It works in the same way as that. Just obviously very different. And this one, if I were to consider like a message or theme to this one, like the only thing that comes to mind automatically is what the doctor was saying to the alien about its ego and everything, and about its like lack of forethought with that, which is how he was able to, kill it in the end. But like in terms of like the main characters and everything, like I wouldn't say there was really a big message or theme to this one. It was just like a really interesting, dark, mysterious alien story. And I mean, not every episode needs to have like like a notable theme to it. Not every episode of a show like this needs to. I was just noting that the first two episodes they did have kind of that theme of greed, of human greed kind of taking over and kind of getting your comeuppance for it. I guess like the only other thing I could maybe think of with this one is, with him kind of accepting death like already, he dedicated himself to, stopping someone or something that would, be considered evil at the cost of his own life. He had made peace with death and sacrificed himself to stop a greater threat. It's not really like like this kind of moral theme or anything. It's more of like just the idea of self-sacrifice in general, of being willing to give your life to protect people. That's kind of the only other thing I could think of with this, which, that's a good theme, but it's very different than what the first two episodes gave us, which again, very fine. I'm all good with that because I want it to be different. I was saying that in the pre-thoughts. I want these episodes to kind of stand on their own, to be their own thing. With the first two having very similar themes, I wanted this one to definitely branch out in a different direction completely, and it did. And I got my wish, and in a very good way. It ended up being very entertaining, very like investing. I was hooked in. I was excited to see what happened next. Certain parts did gross me out, admittedly, but that's going to happen. I do wonder, I mentioned this in the reaction, but I do wonder how accurate the gore, for lack of a better word, was, like the autopsy chest cavities and everything. Like, how accurate was that in its depiction? I feel like with someone like Guillermo del Toro, it's either extremely accurate or extremely not. Like, there's no in between. It's extremely accurate, or he's just, taking every liberty possible to just be gross. I feel like it could be either or. But I really enjoyed that. I thought that was like a really enjoyable, really fun, really investing episode. I liked it better than episode 2, but I still think I liked episode 1 better. I feel like episode 1 was still just like, I think the surprise of it also helped. You know what I mean? Like, because I was not expecting it to go that heavy, that intense. So I think the surprise of it... Male person, sorry about the dog. I think the surprise of it made it that much better. But also, I feel like I just feel more satisfied in the end, if that makes sense. Because with the first one, you get the absolute dickhole getting what was coming to him after being such a bigoted piece of shit. And also, the demon design was just so fucking good. Like, the Rat Queen and the zombie in the second episode, and now the alien design in this were great. And the design of, like, the alien-infected Eddie was great as well. But I think the alien design also really elevated episode 1 for me. Or, not the alien, the demon design. That really, really made episode 1 work for me on a way that this one just didn't quite reach for me. But it's a close second. Like, it's just behind episode 1. Episode 1 just has that extra little thing that just worked perfectly for me personally. Not to mention the demonic enemies and demonic just concept is a little more interesting to me than aliens. I'm not a huge sci-fi person, but like demonic supernatural stuff definitely is more my thing, I guess. Just personally speaking. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a fantastic episode. And yeah, I really like how it ended up turning out in the end, with the self-sacrifice and the doctor saving possibly dozens of more lives, if not hundreds or millions. I don't know. I don't know how fast this would spread or how much, like, problems this would cause in the future. Just hard to say, you know? But yeah, really happy about that. Really, really glad with how it turned out. Great cast, great concept, great pacing and writing. Really enjoyed it. But tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Cabinet of Curiosities. And yeah, hopefully it continues to be as good as these first 3 episodes were. And hopefully, I do want to see episode 1 beaten for me. Like, I don't want episode 1 to be my favorite, if possible. I want to see another episode just beat it in subjective quality for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like I want the episodes to get better and better. I really do. I don't want like the best episode to be the first. But yeah, it's like even if it does end up being that way, as long as the rest of the episodes are still really good, I'm okay with it. So, like I said, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.